Good morning, traders. This is Perry Wilkie with StartUpTrading.com. It's 3 minutes till 9 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday, September 23rd. So looking back at Friday's session real quick, basically a little uneventful. Value was uh, overlapping to down from the previous day for everything except for the Dow, which was completely neutral. Almost the entire session for the bell was traded within the Thursday value area. If we, look at what that did to structure, nothing really going on because value was pretty tight. So what we basically have is a 2-day bounce, very clear for the Dow, and just the same for the other indexes because it was just so it's basically between below Friday's low and Thursday's high is what we're looking at for today's session as far as that would be the same range if we stay inside there. That would be like a, 3 days of the same area. Otherwise, we need to break out of it and get going. So the title of my video is "No News Until Friday." If we look, we got a lot of Fed heads on the open mics this week, but to be honest with you, Powell was just talking last Friday. They'll probably try to set a narrative for now, but there's a lot of news that's going to come out between now and the next meeting, which is the Thursday after the election. So uh, November 7th will be the next one. So this next FOMC meeting will not be on a Wednesday, it will be on a Thursday because of the election. So as we look at these Fed heads, so basically you got I tried to highlight these out for, just to handicap them a little bit, but, if they're yellow, uh, could could move the tape. But I think, and here's my view on this: anytime you have a slew of them after a blackout period, because right, we're blacked out the 10 days before the session, basically until or we're blacked out 10 days before the FOMC announcement until basically the Friday after uh, the announcement, with the exception being Powell's talk on the FOMC announcement itself. So this is their chance to set the narrative that they're currently looking at. Their view is going to change more than likely several times between now and then as economic data comes in or not. But the chances that their view is going to change dramatically from what was put on the tape Wednesday with Powell is is probably like 2%. So I look at all these things this week as there might be a little bit of algo fun if you get any movement. It'll you can see uh, you can play for continuation, but more than likely it's going to revert to the mean unless there's something else hitting the tape, right? So back to the title of my videos, no new news until Friday, because I don't look at any of this stuff as news with these Fed heads this week because we just heard from Powell. Powell will be on the mic Thursday morning at 9:20. That is, can be a volatile time anyways, but it's opening remarks on a pre-recorded video. So I'm looking at this as also a non-event this week, even though it's Powell. So the real news this week, and the only news in my opinion, is Friday at 8:30. We're gonna have core PCE, uh, and then the index, and that's gonna be really the only news that they're in. So what does that mean for us as traders? What it means to me is anytime that the VIX pops or the market drops a little bit, uh, they're probably going to sell volatility every single chance they get on any pop all the way into Friday, right? So keep in mind, earnings does not start back up until we get about 2 weeks, maybe three, before earnings starts back up again, and so this is an area where the tape can get weak. We just had an OPEX Friday, so between now and when earnings start, right, we can get a trend that develops either up or down. Normally, you get a little bit of a favor going into earnings with a price rise, but we still got 3 weeks, so we could get a little bit of a drop, before we get a pop into earnings potentially. Anytime that we've had a massive like 8, 10, 12% crash in September, it's almost always come in this window that we're in now. So keep in mind that if you start seeing the VIX is not reverting to the mean when it spikes, right, then you can play for continuation. But the VIX better be going. If you're going to keep playing short after we get a little bit of a drop in the market, the VIX better be increasing in value for that session, or it's just going to revert to the mean, or at the very least, the downdraft for the day is over. Um, for today, 490 is the biggest gamma. We're quite a ways away from that. It'd be something if we could move up $6.50 from where we are. Uh, Not that we can't, but that would be another 240 points uh, up, and so that would be around 180 over the high. That would put the sessions range in about 400. I don't know if we're going to get a 400 point range today in the NQ, to be honest with you. Uh, so looking at the other indexes, there's really, anything between this whole band is fair value. The SPY, and let's go back and hit the keys one more time. The We're currently trading 483.36. So, you can see anywhere from basically 480 up to 490 is fair value today. So we can, trade in any of that. We're kind of a little bit in the middle, maybe just a smidgen below the middle of that area. And if we look at the SPY, SPY is currently trading 569.50, so just below 570. So, but anywhere from 567 up to 575 is basically fair value for today for that. Uh, Again, and then looking at the cash market, there's really nothing to hang your hat on as far as I'm concerned. If you look at, where you'd have to look at the week, which I don't like to do on a Monday. I like to look all the way out into the Friday expiration. So I don't think the cash is going to help your cause at this point in time. We did pin the cash close uh, on Friday, but that was about it. So looking at where we're at right now in the overnight session, we're basically sitting here hugging and incrementally trading above uh, where we were on Friday, not over where we are on Thursday. So we got that 2-day balance up here, flagging and consolidating right on these highs. And if we look at where we are in the one time frame, you can see that for the all-time high for the contract that we're on right now for the ESZ24, the December contract, we had a look above and potentially fell on Thursday, but we haven't really backed off of that level, which would be, 57.85 is still your bogey from the old mark. So 57.85 up to 5800 is really where you're looking for, potentially shorts might squeeze. You might get a continuation trend because this is we're in that window after OPEX where you could get a trend. I just don't know if there's a catalyst yet, and we could just sit here and consolidate some more, screw around until Friday, back and fill this area. Uh, that's probably more likely. And then looking at the NASDAQ, anything from between 19,903 up to 20,251 is, that's the zone that we're in right now. And then you can see it would take, quite a bit. You would really need to get back up over 20,425 to start, heading back up uh, towards 20,850 basically. And you can see how much different you are between the ES at all-time highs and the NASDAQ basically nowhere near it. So overnight action, 36.5 points for the ES. Again, there's no real poor structure anywhere around here. The nearest poor structure for anyone is the the Nasdaq right around this 20,200 level, and then you can see where we are right now. Uh, at value area high, slightly above it for the Russell, at the previous day's high for the Nasdaq. But remember, we had a 2-day bounce, so you would really need to get back up above this 200 area, which we could just trade up another 115 points or whatever, and just sit here and not really do anything. But for us day traders, I think you should be looking at you know until the tape proves otherwise, assume that we're just going to chop around in these areas of this 2-day balance for the ES and the NASDAQ until it proves otherwise. And don't look for, a break and go out to the top. Uh, and then looking at the Dow, same thing. So keep it simple today. Just trade what's there. Don't look for anything outrageous, and keep in mind that we're probably likely to stay plus or minus 150 points from where we're currently at, and really no more. I hope this helps, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.